Thank you. We're going to talk for a minute about our Ask the Inspector podcast. It's something that our department's been, it's relatively new, and we'll talk about what it entails here for the next few minutes. First of all, when they prepared this for me, I had to ask, what's a podcast? So I'm from that generation, so they were like, yeah, remember those little audio snippets that we do? And I was like, okay, no, I know what we're talking about. So then they tried to put in some context here. 37% of Americans subscribe to a podcast monthly. 100 million people, according to Forbes, get monthly podcasts. How many of you get podcasts or subscribe to podcasts routinely? A good amount of the group. So maybe that's very typical, but it's also estimated that 125 million people by the end of this year are going to be subscribing to podcasts routinely. And so those of you that do it know of its convenience. It's there for you whenever you want it. You can listen to it. You can multitask and do other things as well. So we choose to use this as a different form of outlet for our media. In all of our emails we've been seeing lately, what are the challenges of all of our departments, and that's retaining staff, recruiting staff. This is another tool that we'll talk about how we're using it for that as well. It doesn't get everybody as far as outlets, but it should be, well, it is in our portfolio, and it's very easy to put in yours as well. So each episode of ours is between 5 and 20. We try to keep it brief and very succinct. And it's not scripted. We do give whoever the guest specialist is, give them the questions so they can think about it, but we don't allow them to read or write the answers, because that way it flows a lot better. And the intention is just to educate and inform. It's not technical in nature, it's so anyone can listen and get something out of it. So what we do is we just, whatever the topic is going to be, we bring in a specialist from that program, and we do a recording. Then we do some editing, and then we release it. So the questions, like I said, are actually, we solicit questions from the public, and we incorporate those when we get them. If not, we'll generate our own. But they're open-ended, there's no yes or no's, and then move on to the next thing, so it starts flowing. I'll bet all of you, each one of you, could write a book on experiences you've had in different programs that you've worked. And so we just try and bring it to the most recent subject so people can listen and hear it for themselves and get possibly interested in the industry. If not that, at least they learn something. Maybe they're not interested. And so some people in the community for us, they don't really know what the job's about. So this is another way that they can learn. Maybe it's not a good fit for them. It's not a good fit for everybody. Here's the equipment that we purchased to get started. And so we have mixing, and this is about $1,600, I think, for the editing and the recorders. Altogether, it's probably about $2,400 right here. And we don't have a dedicated room. You see the sound booth can be set up in any small area. Actually, our guy that does this, he'll go to outlying offices and do it at a satellite office. So we don't have a dedicated studio or anything like that. We're not that high tech. So they figure out the costs, and we are not on a very rigid schedule for these either. It's not a full-time job for anybody. It's something that Josh does to infill his other duties. So it's not a hard cost for us as far as labor goes. So we try and do a week per episode. We get it set up that way. And so the cost turns out to be, as a ballpark figure, $1,600. But once again, that's kind of a soft figure. There's Josh at his mixing board station there, and he goes through it and he edits things very well. He's able to take hacks and stuff and just edit them and make them flow very smoothly. So to date, we've had 7 episodes released, and the topics cover food safety, like I said, vector control, hazardous waste, body art, and also how to become an environmental health specialist. So once again, that gets the word out for the job, and people are potentially interested. And maybe at college age, maybe at high school, maybe older, who knows, all across the board. So to date, we've had about 25,000 people view the 7 that we have released. There's 11,000 organic views, and 500 of those are positive engagements. Those are likes or something similar to that, comments. And then we get audience retention. That's how long the people stay on the line for running a longer one. So after several minutes when they stay on, that's a lot. So we are getting good results by this. Some of the outreach is hard to quantify. I mean, we can get these stats. It's easy to get that, but the results of who reaches out to us, or who benefits, perhaps some of your residents benefit as well by this outreach, and that's fine, but it's really hard to connect the two extremes as far as the output and what's the benefit. But as far as the numbers, this is very easy to get these metrics. So, you guys can subscribe to our podcast, for those of you that haven't, and we have a YouTube channel, and we put these across all of our media platforms, social media platforms. So we're just always looking for a way to get the word out, especially in a non-confrontational to both our operators and just the public in general. And this is another tool that we have in our portfolio. And that's all I have, Jeff. Thank you.